Yo yo, here we go. So today we're looking at a nice bit of Boulder Opal. I was going to do another Cooper Petey, but doing two in a row, I don't know, I love a bit of variety, and any excuse to switch over to a Boulder is going to be taken on this channel. I do love the stuff. This one in particular is a rub that I got from Nick Hoops. It was part of a review parcel I did quite a while ago, and there was so many great rubs in that. I've saved this one for a while, but now I want to get onto him. And it might not look, actually it does look pretty good from here. It might not look like much, but that's because it's currently in its really dry state. And Boulder in particular is pretty rough when it's dry. It doesn't look great. But before I wet it, we'll just have a quick look at the back. There's a nice little chip window over there where there's some bright colour coming through. There's a bit of a cutout here, which, I don't know. It won't be too bad because it is the backing. The backing material itself does have this nice little pattern. I mean, even when a Opal has a backing and base potch material that looks as cool as what Boulder Opal does, it's not hard to work out why I like it so much. You can have 0 bits of opal in it and it can still look as cool as this. I see like a river, which is just, yeah, I love the stuff. It's so good. If we have a quick glance at the edges, you can see how thick the opal is in some areas but how thin it is in others. That's always the way with Boulder. You don't get nice even lines ever. You can see here that it dives down a little bit, and I reckon because there's nothing overly exciting up here, we can play around with that and we might be able to dive that in a bit. I'm not going to cut this into a specific shape, or at least I'm not planning to from the onset. What we'll do is just clean up this surface because it's pretty rough. You can see here when I flash it across, all the cutting marks. Looks like someone had a couple goes at cutting this one. So you can see it, a whole heap of blade marks in here, and they're really rough. Yeah, finger catches on them pretty strongly. But yeah, a huge amount of colour over in this area here. I was thinking maybe there is a shape here, somewhere along the lines there, but I want to see what's hidden under here because there's still a little bit of potential in there. So we'll carve that back as well and have a look at it. But for now, let's give it a quick dunk. And look at that. Why carve it? Just dunk it in water. That transformation's a lot quicker than what I'm about to do. So you've got these nice light blues, intense dark blue purples. I wish this had a nicer pattern in it, because then I would really just work on polishing that up. And you can see here, if I get my tiny little pointer, it's a pretty flat and conducive to polishing kind of boulder, but there are still a couple holes. So there's a nice big hole there, there's a couple other smaller holes. Pretty standard for boulder. You can see there's a bit of a nick there. Don't know why my hand was shaky then. Another hole. So a few little imperfections that indicate that polishing this might not be really smooth, but we will give it a crack. But yeah, we'll start off Black Nova. We'll just get rid of all these cutting lines. You can see them really clearly now with the water on top. So those cutting lines, we're getting rid of them. It's going to be nice and smooth across this entire face. And then we'll carve in a little bit over here just to see if we can make a nice pattern out of here. This could just be smudged a bit. And we'll just check out this kind of area. Most likely this corner here will get cut off. There's nothing exciting there. I do want it not to be in this kind of irregular final shape. It's too angular, too ugly. I'm hoping maybe that will get a nice curve out of over here. Maybe if this is rubbish, then we'll cut that off and we'll end up with a nice little odd-shaped wire wrap pendant piece, which is what I'm after with some of this boulder. So let's get right into it. See how good this one can get. back from that first initial carving, and the shape of it hasn't changed much. You saw me interrogating this area quite harshly. I thought this might come out a bit better. I actually might as well just wet it now. Not going to see much dry. I thought I might be able to get something out of this corner, but that colour doesn't really travel too far at all in the end, so I think the best way to go is that I will eventually, at some point, slice this opal across here. I'm thinking of actually making a bit more of an instructional video around the slicing, because I got a few questions that I think I can elaborate on and answer if I actually go into a video planning on doing that. So I might save this cut for that video. But I want to get this nice little, it's kind of like a bell shape. I know it's a really unusual shape, but I feel like I can just round this a little bit, round this corner a little bit, and then just go up and try to mirror this kind of curve a little bit. I want to take that a little bit down over this edge, but it's almost like a bell shape. We're getting real creative. I've got a pendant idea that'll use a shape like that. And yeah, that's basically it. We didn't change the shape too much. The pattern didn't change a lot. I like this area in here a little bit more now, and I like this area over here a little bit more. Digging a little deeper, but the dark blue, it's still there. That slight pink dot over here that appears every now and then, that's still there. There he is. But we have gotten rid of a lot of that harsh rippling across here, so you can see that the light's a little bit more even now. There's a little bit of a high spot here, but all in all, pretty nice and rugged. I love my boulder to be fairly rugged, and I'll make a rugged little wire wrap from it, I think. So yeah, I'll cut a straight line across there and then change the shape of that edge. But for this video, we'll continue on, and we will hit it now with the rest of the Nova tips and see what it looks like once that's done, because as you saw before, and as I'll quickly try to show a little bit here again, when it's dry, it still looks pretty rough. But to get a real good idea of what it'll look like as a finished piece, I'll just take it through to the 3000 grit Nova, and we'll leave the final polish for after I make this slice video. Dunzo. It looks quite good, this one. If I can bring it right up towards the camera without it losing focus too much. There we go. There are a couple issues with this piece. It may look fairly glossy right now, but it is fairly porous material. So you can see that slight fog as the light goes over it. That's just because the Boulder Opal is quite porous still. Most people get around that by coating it with a resin. Definitely not like the previous video where someone did a real nasty job with the resin. But you can coat it with a resin, it just fills in those pores, and then you just polish up over the top and it comes out beautifully perfect. For now, I'm not going to bother with such a treatment because I still want to cut off this corner bit here and then reshape that. When I was going over it with the brown Nova, ignoring that massive pit there is actually some nice colour coming in through here. So I will give that a wide berth with the slice, so I'll probably give it a long slice across here and then a short slice from here across here, and then just shape that with the probably a diamond bit slightly and then just the black Nova mainly, just to get some sort of symmetrical image across both sides. Though now that I look at it, it doesn't actually have to be overly symmetrical. I want to learn how to get quite, I don't know, flexible I guess with my wire wrapping and making custom shaped wire wraps. The more unique the better with Boulder Opal, I feel. So if I can match the uniqueness of a piece of boulder with a equally as unique wire wrap, that's the dream goal in the end. So that's what I'm going to aim for. But yeah, apart from that, you can look at the opal. It's come up quite well. This particular patch over here, when you get really close in with a 10 times or a 30 times loop, reminds me of the scene out of Doctor Strange when he's going through all that weird portal stuff, the multiple dimensions kind of side of things. It's got a real, I just sat there staring at it for 10 minutes, just moving it around in the light because it's just incredible. Here you can see a lot of those pores and the chips. If you look real carefully, you can see the tiny ones as well, even without a loop, so you can imagine what it looks like under magnification. But yeah, it's a nice piece. I like it. Nick Hoops, he provides material of this quality all the time. So yeah, definitely feel free hitting him up on Facebook. I noticed that he's been really, since I first dealt with him, he's really ramped up his selling on Facebook. And he's, got heaps of happy customers now, so you don't have to just take my word for it. There's plenty of people dealing with Nick. And for good reason. I mean, this piece here, I think he charged me, on the breakdown, it's about 15 bucks, I think, for this. And look how it's come out. Absolutely amazing. Hopefully, I can make an equally as amazing pendant out of it. But first, these cuts need to be done, and I will save that for a later video. It probably won't be too far away. I've got a couple other things planned though before that, so it'll be added to the queue. So if you wanna see that and be notified when that comes up, just hit that subscribe button. Most of you already have. I think YouTube gives you these numbers and they're saying something like 70% of people that watch my videos don't subscribe, but yeah, that's pretty wild. Got a lot of people watching, but it's the ones that are really interacting that I'm having the most fun with. So thanks for sticking around, guys, and I will just keep working on these other videos. Keep cranking them out and hopefully come across a whole heap of weird things along the way. And you guys can learn, I can learn, we can all learn, and we can all get better. So yeah, on that cheery note, I'll see you in the next one.